What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Far Cry 6 video, and today let's take a look at possibly the best current farming method we have right now in the game. It's so good, in fact, that you can still be almost completely AFK and still get some of the best resources right now in the game. So much so that you're gonna be able to upgrade your gear and get the best mods in the game just by running these operations. So we're gonna talk about that in this video, and you know what? I'm not so sure if Ubisoft is not going to nerf this, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen, and let's jump right into it. Now, here's the thing you need to know about these special operations, because you will want to run these back to back every single day and constantly have them on cooldown, simply because they give you absolutely free resources, money, and even items without you doing anything outside of just sending these leaders and the respective banditos in these missions. You just stay there AFK or go out there, play the game, do something else. These just run themselves, and at the end of the timer you're going to get not just the resources listed over there in the title card, but also resources for every single step that is successful. Which also brings me to the very first tip on the list, and that is to, well, pay close attention to the useful leader skills that are listed on the card of each of the respective missions that you send these leaders in. Like, for example, if you see a mission listing Survivor as a useful leader skill, then obviously somebody like Benito would work best, as he does have that skill and he does get a 50% buff to construction success chance on top of the constructor like perk that he also has beneath that. The same goes for other leaders you can find in the game by doing some of the side objectives or even main missions that you will eventually reach, and I will cover all of them in this video, including their respective skills, because these skills are going to be very different from one another and you will want to send them in operations that are most suited for them. So with that out of the way, let's get started with a very easy mission that already gives you two leaders at the same time very early on in the game, right after Benito, and that's gonna be done for Isabella right here in the Valley del Oro region from a mission called Wing and a Prayer. The mission is pretty straightforward. You just have to save Marisol and a few other citizens from some recent military encampments, and once you're done with that, you will unlock both Marisol and Isabella as your very own leaders that you can immediately send into expeditions. Especially Isabella is very useful. She comes with the surprise skill, which gives her a 50% bonus to ambush success rate, and also adaptive increases 10% success chance to one choice in each step. This essentially means that one of these choices will have an additional 10% success rate on top of whatever it already has by default, and including some of the other buffs from the leader and whatnot. And also Marisol is quite okay. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen too many like medic related quests, but she comes with Inquirer, which is quite common, so she has a 50% chance to interrogation success rate, and also Field Medic reduces the medicine requirements for many of the missions that might have that requirement. This brings us to the next and possibly the best requirement right now for a leader, and that's gonna be Big Papi, that you can get from the Duende Island mission that you can do at probably any point in the game. You just have to head over there. It's going to immediately pop on your screen and you're going to be able to do a mission quickly with him. Now, this is going to be a little bit more complicated because there's going to be some elite units spawning and also a helicopter, so definitely carry an LMG with impact rounds like how I told you earlier today to take it down more easily. But once you're done with him and he finds what he's been looking for, you're going to unlock him and you can also use him immediately in operations. And he has two of the most useful skills I've seen so far. The Reckless one, which I've seen tons of missions requiring for some reason. He gets a 50% chance to assault success rate, and also a Speed Demon bandit operation time reduced by 25%. So it's definitely gonna be super useful to send him in operations. And just like that, you already have 4 leaders, but we're not stopping. There's one more that is also quite easy to get as it doesn't have any requirements, and that's gonna be, yeah, Freddy Jr. from the mission called Stealing Home that you can find in the eastern part of the city of Secunda, right here on this side of the map. So yeah, the mission is going to be a little bit more complicated because it kind of brings you you to multiple parts of the map that are pretty far and spread out, including a few military bases to recover, well, pretty much a baseball equipment for his dad. It's totally up to you in which order you will do this, but you're gonna find the jersey in the FND Special Force base right east to Esperanza. Then you're going to find the plastic piece in the Espinosa University west of the main city, and finally you're going to find the glove right here in the electrical station number 31, a little bit closer to the point where you took the mission in. Once you're done with that, just bring the equipment where Junior tells you to, and you're gonna be able to immediately unlock him, as well as a pretty cool helmet. He also comes with one of the most useful skills in the game, the sniper. I've seen many operations requiring this. It gives you a 50% chance to sniper success chance, and also a long shot. Yeah, choosing a sniper action gives a plus 10% success chance until the end of the operation, so this includes all of the steps on the way, which is a pretty good skill to have. And here is where it becomes a little bit more difficult, because the remaining 3 of the leaders kinda have mission requirements. Before that, you have to complete both main missions as well as some of the side content for some of the characters in the game. So the next one is going to be Alfredo Maximo, and you're going to find them from a mission called the Lion's Roar. But in order to even unlock this in the first place, you pretty much have to complete all of the other yellow missions in the El Este region, about 4 or 5 of them, until you reach this city right here, and then eventually reach this hotel that was kind of transformed into a prison that you then have to defend during the mission called the Lion's Roar. Like, really trying here to not spoil anything, but if you search on Google the name of the Lion's Roar mission, you're going to find all of its prerequisites, which again, if you played through the El Este region, you should already have on your map anyway. And once you're done with that mission, you're going to unlock Alfredo, which comes with the Smooth Talker skill that gives him a 50% to bribery success chance, and another one that reduces the pesos requirements by 50% in some of the steps that might require this. Now, if you've done everything that I've told you up until this point, including completing the El Este missions in this area, this will also set you up for the next leader in the sequence, which is going to be Sergio. So he is going to be something that you get after you get Alfredo, because he has a few more requirements on top. So on top of the fact that you have to complete the main missions here, you also have to complete all of the other side missions in the meantime for Gilberto Rosario, until you get the one called Tricks of the Trade right here on this side of the map. If it's of any use to you, the previous one before this was called Undercover Stud, and there's another one before this, but again, you can Google it online, so I don't have to spoil too much for you. So again, it's going to be a little bit more difficult depending at which point you are in the game, which is why I recommend being, loaded with weapons and good enough upgrades to take down some of the high-end enemies that will spawn during these missions. But at the end of it, you're going to unlock Sergio, which comes with another very useful skill, and that's gonna be the ghillie suit, which again I've seen quite often enough. So he has a 50% chance to stealth success, and of course another one, super sneak. Choosing a stealth action gives additional intel about the leader's ability for other available bandit operations. This is usually when you go in operations and you start seeing more than just one skill being listed over there at something that is required. So you can even see up to like 7 or 8 that can be listed at the same time, which means almost any leader could work in that specific mission. And this, ladies and gents, brings us to the final bandit leader, which is going to be Zenia, but she is going to be acquired quite late in the game, depending on how you chose to do the mission. So she is going to be acquired after completing a mission in Esperanza called Paradise Lost, and also making sure that you completed all previous side missions for Zenia up until that point. Her quest chain pretty much begins with the heavy metal quest right here in the Madrugada region. You have to steal a tank for her and run a few more missions for her until the point she moves to the capital, and she opens up her side quest called Paint the Town, which is also the one that rewards her as the leader. So here is going to be what you need to do during this mission. You essentially have to kind of paint out 12 statues around the main city. Unfortunately, it's going to be pretty much run down with guards. So to help you with that, here is a very useful map that you can use thanks to power picks that pretty much includes all of those statue locations that you need to deface in order to finish that quest. Once done, Zenia is pretty much yours as a leader, and yeah, she also has the sabotage skill that improves her success rate with that kind of stuff, so she is amazing against these types of missions. And with that, you're pretty much done with all of the 8 leaders in Far Cry 6, and you will definitely want to constantly run these in missions every single hour or couple of hours, depending how long these operations will take. But it's very useful to send them all and then just collect a huge amount of rewards at the end of it and not have to waste time doing something else. Just have fun in the meantime, play the game, finish other missions and other content, and you should be good. This is it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.